I'm Tim Westermeyer. I'm the senior pastor of St. Philip the Deacon in Plymouth, Minnesota. The Faith and Life Lecture Series is a series of 5 talks every program year. We bring in speakers from around the country and around the world to talk about how Christian faith is connected to different dimensions of everyday life. So Faith and Life came out of my sense that our lives of faith are disconnected from our everyday life, and I was trying to create a series, an opportunity for people to come and hear about the ways that faith is integrated to everyday life. So I'm a second career pastor. I began my career in the world of communications at big public relations agencies in Minneapolis and Los Angeles. And the idea for Faith and Life actually came while I was still working in that field before I was ordained. And I just had a sense that it would be wonderful to be able to have a series where people who are maybe not connected to churches, who are living their lives out in the world, could come and hear thoughtful, intelligent people talk about issues of faith in public spaces that were safe and accessible. So we're now entering the 14th year of the Faith and Life series, and when we started it, the very first thing I did actually is I lined up the 5 speakers for that very first season. And after I had them lined up, without any way to pay for them or to fund the series, I went out and I solicited contributions to help us fund their honorariums and their travel expenses, printing expenses, advertising, and so forth. And once that first series was lined up, people were excited to support it, and for 14 years now, they've continued to support it, and it's continued to grow. As I think about struggles for this, the creation of this series, the truth is there aren't a whole lot that come to mind. Maybe the one that I would reference more than any in the very early days of this series, before we even began that first season, I think some people weren't quite able to get their heads around it until they experienced it. One of the important things we do is we have lay people, so business people, doctors, authors, artists, musicians, people who don't typically talk about issues of faith come in and reflect on issues of faith as it relates to their own lives. And I think that was hard for people to grasp initially. I wouldn't call it opposition so much as maybe a lack of ability to sort of understand what we were trying to do. And now 14 years later, I would say that's become abundantly clear through a variety of wonderful, wonderful speakers and amazing events. You know, my instincts about this series are exactly where they were when we started it, when I started it 14 years ago. I remain convinced and convicted that our culture does not have enough public spaces to talk about issues of importance and significance. And I do think that this series is an important part of the fabric of our culture, or has become an important part of the fabric of our culture in the last 14 years. I'm deeply committed to it. I derive a ton of fun and joy out of doing it. And it's put down really deep roots in our community, and people have come to expect that if they attend one of these events, they will hear a thoughtful, intelligent speaker talk about issues of substance, importantly, without trying to twist their arm about those issues. And I think that's a really good thing.